And we are live back at a semi reasonable hour for once with Marvel Agatha All Along 2 episode premiere. Of course, the guy who loves all thing Marvel joining me bright and early for this exciting live. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, Branch here back. We geek variants, cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more with the man, the myth, the Mephisto, the devil from down under himself. How we doing, Will?
Oh, okay, yes. Just waiting to see what this is about.
I've seen some early speculation, both from fans and content creators alike, and even some of the actors and actresses in this show. One actress, and I quote, and it's Aubrey Plaza. So take it with a grain of salt because Aubrey Plaza is one of those people where you can get a weird quote from any day of the week. Her quote stated, "This is the gayest thing Disney has ever done." Any thoughts?
Don't really got nothing. Like, if she says the gayest project ever, to date, then I'll take that for what it is and let's run it.
As long as the content's good, gay it up. Make it fantastic. Make it over the top fabulous. Could not care. Just give me a good cohesive story, something that finally can tie together phase 4. Because phase 4, you have a character over here, you have a character over there, you got a character back there by my painting poster, got a character outside my house. No one's met, no one knows who's who, no one's making any of these ends meet. And I think the closest thing we have is Kamala hanging out with whatever her name was from that terrible movie that bombed. So as of
So,
now, not all that positive on where phase 4 even is. Like, we know Loki is awesome and sitting on a throne, and Deadpool's roasting the hell out of what's going on with this universe. That's about it. Everything else you could say, it's here, it's there, it's everywhere. It's just not cohesively on screen for us to enjoy. We have a fantastic X-Men 97 universe, though. That's something. Huh?
I mean, that is something. But I'm just looking for this. Look, this is Agatha. All right. It needs to connect to Scarlet Witch in some type of way. We got to know what's going on. It looks like it's a prequel of events. Again, I kind of skimmed the trailer because I try not to have too many surprises. They put way too much stuff in trailers nowadays. So I just kind of skimmed over it, kind of see, talks about the coven for things like we're literally getting into spooky season. So like I really want them to play up that Halloween theme a bit so that we can like let's go for the gusto here. Let's really see what we can make this do and how much this connects everything. But it's supposed to be about what is it about family and about you know the theatrics and everything. So I want to see how far they're really going to dive into it. So we got a 2 episode premiere. Most people who have already got the early showings for that were able to watch at least 2 to 4 episodes of it. So we'll see how far these are. So I'm pretty much give it till 4 episodes to kind of see if it's on par with what everybody's been saying about it, and then we kind of take it from there.
Yeah, because look, the last time we had a show that was pushing any sort of agenda of any kind was the Acolyte that was coming out of Disney, and well, we saw how that came and went. But again, Agatha, for all we know, is probably going to be one season, likely about 10 episodes, if I'm remembering correctly, which someone can hit me in the comments if I'm wrong on that one. I believe it's about 10 episodes. They're supposed to finish really dang close to Halloween, if not on Halloween. So that spooky theme, all that fall vibes that everyone's looking for, I'm hoping to see a lot of that. I'm hoping this witch's road that they're traveling down is going to be a fantastic journey for all of us. We're going to have a very cohesive story. I'm very excited to see the main actress, whose name escapes me. I've seen her in so many things. She's always been great in what she was. She was fantastic in WandaVision. I love seeing Aubrey Plaza because she's just, to me, she's funny as all get out. Her on Parks and Rec was one of my favorite characters I've seen in a lot of shows. So seeing her in this, I'm really excited to see. I don't really know too many of the other actors or actresses in this series, so hoping to get to know them on a good level and getting to see just kind of what their acting chops are, so to speak, in a hopefully well written story. Do we know who wrote this story, or do you know of the writer? I don't know anything. That was something I forgot to take a deep dive into before we got into the show.
I know the creator is Jack Schaefer, and the creator's been very vocal and in agreement with like the stuff that Aubrey Plaza was saying. So I'm not sure if she, created and wrote it so that, but she is listed as the creator. Writers, I haven't seen anything on the writers specifically. I think it was her, but I think it was. I think it's kind of like how they've been doing with a lot of the Hollywood stuff, where it's several different writers per episode to kind of put it all together. All right,
It
go.
has been a mixed bag. I see the
Yeah,
episodes have dropped. Episode 1 titled Seekest Thou the Road, and episode 2 Circle Sown with Fate, Unlock Thy Hidden Gate. Sounds whimsical, sounds fancy, sounds like witches' spells. Fantastic start thus far, at least on the naming. I can't be mad at that. It gives me all the feels. What we're looking at, guys, is about, and so it's going to be really interesting to see how it's going. Antonio, long time no see. How's it going? Hope all is well with you, my friend. Haven't seen you in a minute on these live streams, but again, the timing on these things has been about 3 a.m. usually, my time, Pacific time. Well, midnight my time, and 3 a.m. for the East Coasters. So I know missing out a lot of people. Agatha, we are already rocking and rolling. You already hit the start on the episode, or we're gonna sync up with all of our fabulous viewers.
yeah. I'm getting it in there and getting it set up. So you just let me know when we got it timed, and we should be good to go. Just
Because
whatever
it's
time.
just jumping right into the meat and potatoes. We'll sync up at the 30-second mark, everybody, and we'll watch along that way together. Again, watch along on Disney Plus. They have an incredible rate going right now. I think it's like $1.99 for like 2 months or something. They have an incredible deal for the overall streaming service itself. So go ahead, take that as you will, a little treat for yourself, and hop on over and let's enjoy some Agatha all along. All along, I hope it's going to be a fantastic series just for us to cover and for us to get to watch with each and every one of you, because we may have opinions on how certain things in the shows go. At the end of the day, we want the product to be good, just universally across the board. I think it's the best play overall. And again, if you're following us on Twitch or on YouTube, hey, whichever service you follow us on, that's good with us. We always multi-stream on both, so you have your option of preferred platforms. Thanks to YouTube and Twitch finally allowing people to kind of multi-stream and kind of see the best of both, see which one's kind of got more of a viewer depth base, kind of like if you spend a lot of time on Twitch gaming and stuff, that'd be usually it. And YouTube, kind of play to your strengths here. How are we doing on syncing up, Will? How are we doing?
I'm sitting at 30 seconds, ready to go.
All right, chat in 3, 2, 1. Let's enjoy Seekest Thou the Road. If you guys see me with the pen, I'm just taking notes because I ain't the Marvel head Will is. I need to make sure I am up to date on what's going on. So right now it looks like Agatha is just does she no. Talk about a huge step down from being, the witch that made Wanda go all out, right? Because
You
she
know?
lost her powers, if I'm remembering correctly, at the very end of everything.
Yeah, but this looks like this is
It's definitely giving fall vibes, that spooky atmosphere. Looks like
this
she's been doing this a
before.
while and already hates her job.
This is before freaking she.
Now, this is Westview. Yeah, that's right. Very interesting. Yeah, you're right, Antonio. You and Will are absolutely correct. This does not look like a Wanda left her. So, this is going to be curious to see how everything ties together. It'd be weird if this was like a prequel that ultimately synced up with the show and the events of Westview, and that was the end of everything. Because that would still leave her in a state of what is going on. Hmm. Disney really seems to love the Westview vibes.
Like Wanda?
Yeah. I mean, dropping a house on a witch just seems par for the course with Disney. Going all the way back to the Wicked Witch days.
The new Wicked movie is dropping in November.
Interesting to see how that plays out overall. I hope all the best for it.
Hmm.
Interesting bruising on the back leg, bruising on the fingers as well.
Like what, frostbite?
I don't know. Yeah, this is definitely a weird place for anyone to even go out and find whatever happened to this individual. The fact we didn't get a flip over of the body is definitely interesting. Because normally, if that would tie in the story more intricately, we would have gotten the face involved. Is that a ring? It's in a puddle? No, it's just some kind of gem. Didn't get a good look at the mark on it. It's interesting that they didn't find anything like yeah, you just clearly pocketed something. What was that? When you get a face, that's probably gonna be part of the mystery. Unless we're gonna see it now.
Or
Body just gets up. Hey, I'm blah blah blah. Be wild. Has there been any talks about Wiccan or Speed making an appearance in this? Because Wiccan might make sense going down this kind of road. Don't know why he'd be a witch, but spitballing here. Down in the crick. Okay. The body was Agatha all along. I mean, that's a bold choice. They're definitely going with some weird vibes as far as the opening goes. It gives like what old cop shows, maybe 70s, maybe 80s. When did all the
yeah,
events in Westview start on episode one? Because they were black and white when they did that, right?
yeah, that was for I'm not sure, just for the nostalgic choice for kind of setting up with the different shows or
Mhm, mhm. Okay. Mm. So she's supposed to be a beat cop, supposed to be tough on everything. Guess that's the vibe we're playing with to start. It is definitely interesting what kind of aura of mystery they're adding onto the show, trying to
Mhm.
reclaim the magic that WandaVision had over us, where everyone was speculating your character Mephisto would make some sort of appearance in
Yeah, that was
some
just wonderful how
regard.
weird it was.
And who are you whispering to her? What in the world? That
So I'm
would have
trying to.
been noticed and discussed up front, obviously. You wouldn't notice like a whole section of books just gets burnt. No one discussed it, even though the burn was also in the shape of a W.
So so this is what gets me right now. We got freaking. So she just talked to the girl as Dottie. Dottie was from WandaVision. Remember, she was the one, the neighbor who was coming over, the blonde. So
Uh-uh.
that lets me think that she may be somebody too.
I don't think they're gonna copy that same exact formula, Antonio, but I mean, it's definitely an interesting theory to go ahead and chase. I think everything is gonna be normal up until it isn't, and we're gonna end up in the world of magic from there. I don't remember this guy from WandaVision though. Respect the mustache though. The hard
No, the
growth.
librarian. The librarian is who I'm worried about.
Dottie,
Yeah,
not the creepy guy that was standing behind Agnes.
no, Dottie is who I'm worried about.
Aubrey Plaza, welcome in. She's fun. Not much of a team player though.
Yeah.
'Cause, I can't imagine most conversations would go fairly well with a federal officer if that's your starting sentence in any regard. Did you catch a name of the detective?
Vidal.
Vidal? Oh yeah, I'm feeling the witch vibe for sure, Antonio. I am 100% in agreement there. They have history, and then we see her in tons of different outfits. A witch would be perfect for how things are gonna go. Plop. Just plopped her right in. Just plop. Pay attention to that. Secrets are buried underneath the city. This wasn't the Darkhold underground in
Hmm.
WandaVision. Their relationship, I would say, is tumultuous at best.
Yeah,
Some kind of friendship falling out or falling out of a coven, you think?
possibly the other one. I mean, how much is how much is known? How much is remembered? Like what?
New England, late 17th century, three witches standing on front of it. It's probably something for Salem. And huh, someone's hair. The Probably the person who's no longer with us. Why
Mm.
is it when any story is involving witches is told, Salem is always the first place they probably, likely, and logistically start? As if they don't have a history of being where they want to be throughout history. Darkhold is how it spells out.
Mhm.
Yep. She feels some kind of strange connection or
Yep.
symbiotic relationship with everything involving Darkhold. She's even too afraid to write it down. At least they're being more in your face about it than WandaVision was, because that took what, 6 episodes for anyone to have any solid guesses.
More or less.
So it took about 3 episodes to get in the meat and potatoes, everything going on. This is starting quite a bit faster. Because WandaVision was the one that started the streaming TV for Marvel.
Hmm.
Said the body was hers
Yeah.
as a joke, but my Hail Mary theory so far is Aubrey's trying to free her and the body might actually be Agatha as a witch because of the fingers.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because I was remembering stuff that happened within the show, and I tried to recap it beforehand. But the fingers were they lingered on it long enough to it's a reference.
Because it was fingers and feet that they covered there. Looks like she had a little one for a while. Nicholas Scratch, but
Hmm.
now is no longer appearing anywhere.
But that was mentioned in WandaVision.
Mhm. Pizza is the best thing to show up with, unannounced. Mm. Well, I have some history, but again, nothing really definitive to go off of. Small town, never left. Go ahead.
The ring
Hmm.
she wore it in WandaVision. It was a brooch, it was on her neck.
Did that brooch ever get snapped at any time in her battles with Wanda?
Can't recall.
It is hard to compare a show that was like what, 4 years ago.
But I remember it was taken off of the older lady when she was in the spell when they were using the powers and stuff on her.
Hmm.
She took it off. It was used to hold like the cloak.
Now they're definitely going through like interesting things going on with their relationship.
Because
Because Aubrey seems to be knowing significantly more than everything else.
Nicholas Scratch, I think that was that to do with the rabbit she had.
Maybe. Did someone just like someone just apparated in her house? Okay, what person steals something and then stops and looks back? Mm, and that's about as graceful as I would have done that. 'Cause I'm assuming the brooch was the object that was stolen. Ah, nice move. But again, looks like none of them have ran track. Oh, did Dottie just take him out with the car? Oh, she's from WandaVision too. Huh.
Mhm.
And that's the person she's gonna be helping down the witch's road.
She just picked him up and arrested him. Like there was no force, no handcuffs. Just come with me.
I mean,
Hold
she
your
literally
hands.
saw him steal the object and then jump out of her home as a cop. So I mean, I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory of what's gonna happen
I
next.
know, but he just willingly went with her. Like
She has something he needs. And there's no way that he wouldn't have gotten away if he truly wanted to get away. Because he had a head start and everything. Hmm.
ooh, snarky.
Interesting chemistry. A little bit. That was the worst theft attempt I've seen. Friendly reminder. Hey, legally you can't do any of this. So
Can't be punching suspects.
no. They tend not to talk when their jaw's broken. Because as of now, this is very interesting. But again, we're only 20 minutes into the first episode, so the witching road. Somehow she's able to access it and he's not.
Is it? Because when you use magic, your fingers turn black.
If he used magic and he got caught, that's embarrassing.
You know, freaking. Because Wanda's fingers started turning black when she was using magic. Agatha's fingers were all the way black when she was using magic.
Must be nice that Strange never has to deal with it. But again, it's the type of magic used, I'm assuming, that has the depth on that. That's a whole lot of guessing right now.
She's obnoxious though. Like she's over the top. Like those are those are Dottie's flowers.
And then Aubrey's gone. Oh, that's fun. I think that should weigh on you a little bit more than anything. If my entire case just turned into a bunch of flowers, someone started chanting in Latin, and my mirror turned into a painting, I'm checking myself into a hospital for my mental health immediately. Not even thinking about it. I'm not even involved in the case anymore. It's like, cool, pass that off to someone else. Clearly, something went very, very awry. Is this a mental health clinic? Is this a school? And what is she looking for here? I'm going to go with mental health. How do
Green
you
eyes,
how do
five
you wish for
seven.
that to happen?
No, Wanda,
There's red hair,
red hair. Wanda's eyes are green.
so but Wanda's definitely not. Oh no, the Darkhold. Everything that happened was strange. So technically, died, sent back. This is how they bring her back because the actress associated with Scarlet Witch has been Wanda Maximoff. Yep, has said she wanted to come back to Marvel any way she can. All of a sudden, those interviews were leaking right before this. Got it. Someone dropped a mountain on her. Kind of a problem. So Wanda will be the
But
key.
she's
We
still
need to bring her
sitting
back.
frozen, and this is all in her head.
Mm.
I wonder how they were going to, you know,
She's being cheesy like she was in like Step Brothers cheesy.
I mean, she's been cheesy the whole time. Yeah, working when she was writing on the notepad, she was being cheesy still.
I mean, now she's got bedazzled pants, which that was
She's
definitely different.
she's those are the outfits she was wearing in WandaVision. Like she's clawing through the layers of everything she wore in the show.
Mm. Getting closer. Like, how many layers you got? Like, eventually you run. Oh, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
No, she reverted back to black and white. So they're trying to force her to remember because she's going to be the key to bringing back the Darkhold. Go figure. That is a very interesting premise. I'll give Marvel that. Very interesting premise. Let's see what they can ultimately like do with it. Right now, it's delivering. Mm, just sent right back to her own home, and she's in the buck. All right, not atypical Disney, but still fair question. Too long. 3 years, and now she's just. But now you're too friendly. Mm. That's kind of what neighbors do. No offense. Humoring boring conversations you don't care for. Still an incredible mustache. All right. Respect the mustache a little less now. All right. Nope. He used the word. Hmm. There we go. He was very polite about that whole situation. I would have been very, very confused. Like, well, man, what? Why is this happening to me right now? Going to the basement. Gonna go ahead and try and look for the book. Only to find it's regular. Pretty deep basement though. Kind of like it. So she needs to go find Aubrey now and everybody. Oh, Nicholas Scratch, the rabbit.
Yep. So I was waiting on.
I mean, those appliances look nice. Something. And I think that kid just popped back up into her attic again.
All right, you got your son back. What you gonna do now?
Is that her son?
Nicholas Scratch, yeah.
Hmm. Now we're talking about the actual human son.
I'm guessing he's turned into a rabbit, or
She has him tied up in her closet. A little bit. Good call. And there's Aubrey Plaza's character. That is a look. I don't know
very
what
much
it's
so.
from, but it's a look. It's a really bad day. Ow. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say their relationship is more than complicated.
Yeah,
You recognize those blades from any Marvel comics?
trying to.
Oh, open hand slap. Always win. Yeah. I say, why do we spend all this time playing with a knife when you can like magically shoot people against buildings and stuff? Hmm. I mean, you're playing me, but well, guess not. Is there a whole different theory on the color of magic that is supposed to be super relevant?
Well, if I can remember correctly, which I don't think I can, freaking, I do think they kind of played off the Infinity Stones to a degree because
Purple was power, right?
freaking purple is power, red is reality warping.
Green was time because Strange always messed with it.
So I think that's what they're kind of playing off of within the MCU. Within the comics, it was different. Comics, like magic was just used kind of however.
Didn't need to be explained too much because again, magic. The be all end all answer for everything. Well, how does that work? Magic. I don't gotta explain it. I just gotta say who's the strongest. If I was the kid, I'd probably have like at least attempted to stand up by now and leave. Were his legs bound? Because that'd have been wild to just watch happen.
I wonder if the seven are going to go after freaking Scratch.
Is Scratch integral to
Scratch,
everything going on?
well, Scratch is the kid, but Scratch and Agatha don't see eye to eye.
Hmm. Well, that's why she turned him into a rabbit. I am gonna go ahead and just skip past the end credits, jump into episode 2. As of
Yeah,
now, fairly interested in where we're going with this.
it's got my
It's one
attention. It's definitely got my attention. I want to see what they're going to do.
it's one of the more unique shows they've definitely come with. Still out there, Antonio? You still hanging around? Want to get your thoughts on this for sure. And I'm going to skip the recap because we literally just watched it, so I don't think I need to be recapped that badly. My memory's not there yet. Give it a few more years.
Yeah, don't need recap.
Oh, Antonio's got ads. I feel you, my friend. I feel you. We are just starting episode 2 now. Where are you at on minute marker, Will?
136.
Okay, so I'm ahead of you a little bit. I'm at a minute 55. I'll pause and wait for you. Let me know when you get there. I want to make sure that I'm not spoiling anything for you 20 seconds forward.
All right, minute 55 now.
Perfect. Hitting play. We're back at it. And Antonio, I'll try and keep it to a minimal. Hmm. Why is this kid so desperate to see the Witch's Road, though? Hmm. Have we gotten an official name for this kid yet?
No.
Huh. So she sort of owes him one, but again, witch's honor and all that.
Mhm. She said the name.
But again, it's probably pretty easy to break the spell of a dead witch.
I don't know. You find breaking a dead man's spell freaking quite troublesome per Strange.
Mm. Yeah, but also Strange only saw one possibility where Marvel succeeded in one, and with some of the shows that have been run out, I'm not sure it's the one that needed to survive.
Would it be funny if he was the anchor being, and that's why he had to see one where he survived as well?
That would be interesting, but imagine seeing one where he's going to have to run into Robert Downey Jr. again. Yeah, because that makes a load of sense. Good call, Marvel. Good call. We're all thrilled about it.
See, yes, it's a locket. Freaking, it's got the
The hair.
hair in it. That's the it was worn as like a brooch or something around the neck.
Mm. Huh. It sound like it started with an M or a W.
Who are you?
Now they covered everything because they knew someone was going to try and just cut right through that real quick.
Can't say his name.
I wonder who would curse someone to be unable to say their own name. Either that you think they think you're some kind of narcissist, or your name has incredible power. What is the little like tiki figure gonna do?
What is she doing?
This looks like the musings of like a 5-year-old who got hammered and just got allowed to play with a bunch of random items that were left lying around.
She's pulling herself together in a fun way. I'll give it that.
Mm. Mm, weird cut there. Evil witch. That's Wanda's house because it had that M on it. If you remember from the how,
Mhm.
what was House of something? What was that story arc with Magneto?
Like House of M.
The House of M. The M was on that concrete with a slash right through it. Give a little nod to those X-Men fans out there. We see y'all. We know you're excited and waiting to get more pieces on the board. We're excited too. There were more fan castings and rumors surrounding Henry Cavill in X-Men today that dropped.
Hmm.
Witchy enough. That sounds like a great way of going about things. We don't want people who are good, just good enough. Mm.
Mhm. She's gonna refer to him as teen for the rest of for the rest of the show.
I mean, like, until his name is revealed, and that's going to be the big reveal because they already know Marvel is going to be like, yeah, all the content creators are going to make videos in the next 3 days speculating on the name, and they're going to try and debunk that
Mephisto.
little. Don't start with that snippet there. I mean, it'd be hilarious if you did that, but again, I'm fully expecting you to do a fan theory at some point around this because it's just going to get you too hooked. Your red string will have to go off.
I think I'm gonna do a fan theory halfway through.
I already speculated who the wizard was for Rings of Power, so I did a wizard. You do another wizard. She is over the top, but is she supposed to be in this undercover situation?
Agatha has always been theatrical, so I'm not surprised.
Hmm. At least the comic fans will be happy if they're familiar with Agatha's work. Anyway, which big if. Did she even have a husband?
Not that I can recall.
Don't go near golf courses now; they're dangerous. 4. Hmm. Eh. Oh, she's hitting all the buttons right now. Beg pardon? What? She makes leggings and she's a witch? Okay. Respect the side hustle. Hmm. Probably not. You just kind of needs a few screaming fits. She's like the goats from Thor: Love and Thunder, that beloved Marvel property that was so good and super entertaining. Catherine Hahn, she's delivering the theatrical. Show's dropped 2 episodes, weird one. First one's fairly entertaining. I hope you enjoy. We're on episode 2 currently, and we are intrigued, if I'm not mistaken. Intrigued. It's like I was saving everyone's life. I got evicted because of it. Sounds like a great time. Mm. I mean, we're shooting at least C plus right now. I'd probably say low B, mid B. I'm okay with it. Mm.
Oh, that's just this continent. Oh,
Why didn't wasn't North America mentioned? I'm sorry, it was South America and Europe.
he said North America right before that.
Okay, good. I'm just missing things. I was gonna say like we got a more prominent witch in Asia though? Australia? I want to meet them. That's interesting as hell. No witch pun intended.
I mean, Shang-Chi might come across him later on. There's some stuff going down over there.
I mean, cool, I guess. You and your 10 rings of punching. Fantastic. I'm impressed. So she's just basically being a college football recruiter. Think of everything good that can happen. Think of how it's going to help you. How all of us are going to be even better.
That's the thing.
So
So, yep, she gotta get blasted. Freaking. That's one of the things why her energy manipulation was so high.
the promise of opportunity is always there. Well, I mean, yeah, he could be Wiccan for all we know, and I would be 100% understanding of him turning out to be Wiccan because he should have the innate knowledge to break his own mom's spell. That would be pretty nail on the head. Hmm, good for her. Ah, ouch. So we got Lilia joining up. Bring napkins, bring something. Go to the witch's cookout. Make the coven really pop off. Ah, cool. We get magical birds now. Love it. Game of Thrones all over again. For those that know, you know. Candle eating? Okay. Okay. People have some weird side hustles. That's one way of phrasing things. Shove off customers. That's great. Her name is Jen. You got anyone from the comics I should be worried about?
No pain.
Who put the binding spell on her?
Probably Agatha.
I mean, maybe, but we haven't decided on this fate yet. Oh, that sounds like a really, really bad investment. Yeah. Kid's getting good. I'm giving him that. What? Mm. Whoever she was else was on the list, she desperately does not want to meet.
But he said he could memorize the fact that she gave him earlier, so he probably memorized the list.
Why would you bother asking though? Just for like the sake of asking? What is that old logo on that cup?
What, the Solo Cup logo?
Yeah. I haven't seen one of those logos in so long. It hit like what some childhood memory right there. The Hokey Pokey Bowl. Just having a weird connection with animals, both rats and crows. Huh. Huh. Oh boy. That escalated quickly. Hmm. So definitely interesting how they're going about this. Pushed the wrong button on that one. Not really good at the suggestive cell. Hmm. Moving on just like that.
Okay, that's Woo.
Hmm.
Jennifer Kale's the one that's throwing me off a little bit. Freaking. All right. Every time he talks about his stuff, it goes freaking silent.
So basically, who he is, everything about him, entire mystery.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting problem to have. I would not be keen on that for sure.
So we got the Salem 7 that are coming. We got freaking Jennifer Kale. All right. Alice Wu. I know she was a like Chinese guardian, I think. It was like she's like a magic guardian.
The brooch is now back in its current place as a brooch. Oh, cool, a wolf now. We're gonna add that to the mix of animals we're struggling with. Mm. He's definitely making things more festive than it really needs to be. Ralph Boner 2.0. I mean, he's giving the energy. Mm, mm, mm. The difference between a hospitable host and then someone who's like, please just show up and leave. Mm, ouch.
High Priestess.
Definitely a weird, weird group. See, he didn't get a look at it. We're just gonna continue to play that. Huh. Mm. Aubrey Plaza, Blackheart, I'm guessing based off on the aesthetic given, or is it gonna be Dottie? And she was the one who hit the kid with her car.
Yep.
Interesting how that's gonna all tie together. Mm. This is yeah, the weirdest like coming to get along together. Does she even know she has any powers whatsoever? Like, did Agatha like do something to her initially, and then she just wants
I don't think
product?
she's not one. I think she's just using her as a ruse. So we got Gypsy Witch, a High Priestess, and a Magical Guardian.
Yep. Welcome to Agatha all along.
So Alice Wu, freaking I know, freaking Calderu, I know, and
We still have Teen, which is probably Wiccan. I don't really know any other teen wizards who would fit the bill for this exact time period either. So I think Wiccan might be it. Especially since they keep showing tons of characters for the Young Avengers that would kind of fall into place again, even though they haven't put them on screen together yet. Like she just has outbursts. We'll ignore that. Oh boy. Is I don't think we should be holding Nicholas Scratch for any particular reason. And again, going towards whispering doors with open is not good. You kind of have to feel bad for Sharon at this point.
Dang.
You just be like, I don't know anything about this, and now we have to get her sucked into this insane moment.
It's funny if she is somebody.
And she just starts singing louder, and everybody be like, uh huh. That's not ominous at all. I'm gonna go the exact opposite direction and hope there's a door for that, as opposed to walking out with Nicholas Scratch to the creepy figure in the road.
Mhm.
The sane reaction. What is going on right now? That's the right reaction.
That's the seven.
Oh boy. The Salem 7 does not look like to be very keen on what's going on right now. It looks like there's only 6 of them, though. Yeah, we're down 1. Oh, nope, 7 and back. There we go. Someone was missing their cues. I would probably run downstairs where everybody is, so I don't think curtains with the blown open door is gonna do much good. They're magic. What do you think, like, a couch is going to do?
She just jumped up and down all happy.
Yeah, I mean, might as well, like, it's catchy, at the very least. I mean, Sharon's given that energy. She's given what she needs to. Considering she doesn't understand what's going on, then that's the best we can do. 'Cause they all seem to know the song, but whether it worked or not, I don't know if she was crying or. Oh, it's like we have a bigger problem going on. Oh, cool. That's fun. Yeah, I think Salem 7 got you.
Yeah.
Got him. Yeah, I'd be a little more concerned by the fact that house is currently shaking in any and all capacity. And then they're sharing again. Hmm. Yeah, there we go. We have the magical door appearing. They open and go in, and you better do it in a hurry. As everything else is just going in the worst possible direction.
This is
That
the
teen is having the
theatrics.
worst day ever. Like I'm gonna skip a few steps on the way down, just a good measure there, avoiding all the problems that we possibly could have. You just heard of the shriek. Yeah, I'm out. That's fair. I ain't mad at it. If Sharon is the most powerful character in this show, I'll be so excited. I'd be like, yeah, let's. I don't want to know what that is about. Yeah, cool. The pause before the other jump scare. Definitely
Now
knows
the
some
door's
people.
gone.
Oh, dang. So, point of no return. Make sure everyone's able to handle everything else going on.
So now we're gonna have a merry jaunt through the witch's road.
It doesn't help that I have the Witch's Road song now stuck in my head. I think that's going to be there for a while. We'll see by the
Yeah.
time we live stream Rings of Power whether that's still living rent free in my mind. Okay, where's your coven? What'd you do with everybody? Okay, cool. They're there. She looks more shocked than she probably should be. No, there's the road. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 individuals thus far. No shoes on the road. Unwritten rule, I guess.
She gonna fall over trying to pull her stuff.
I never doubted us. We got out of there at the last possible physical second. If there is a corpse-like being that just descends down your stairs, hugging every step, it's the last possible second.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out.
So that's that. There's nothing in the post-credit scene. There's nothing about that or the next episode in the credits. I gotta say, Agatha may have something here. We could be
I'm
moving
very
in a good
happy so
direction.
far. Like it's got the intrigue, the mystery, the what's going on. They used the Snow White, the the witch going down the thing for snow. That's awesome.
Cause like there was so much stuff in this. It's wild because definitely as a casual Marvel fan and someone who's definitely not been a fan of Phase 4, which I've voiced throughout the stream, this could be something here. It definitely needs to tie everything together still, regardless of how they wanted this to be kind of a show that's out there. But that kid needs to be Wiccan. I'm I'm already fan theorying that as hard as I possibly can. I'm more interested overall than who put the spell on him to be unable to say his own name and why Agatha can't hear his backstory
Or is it
than
still on
anything else.
Agatha and she's not able to hear what's being said?
I hate your loopholes. But again, that is entirely valid. It's a very logical thought process and there's nothing wrong with it. I don't like it though, because I had what I thought was solid ground to stand on. So once again, we're back in this WandaVision hellhole where everything is not at what it seems. Everything seems to be very questionable. And overall, I think this series could surprise a lot of people because I'm gonna be flat out honest. I came here with no expectations for anything good or concrete. 2 episodes in, I'm eating a lot of crow. Maybe that crow that Agatha was staring at, along with the rat and the wolf. I'm still wondering what that was about. What symbolism could have been there, or some type of hidden message. But again, something. How are you
It's
feeling?
I get something.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
with it.
literally giving me nothing right now. Give it to me. Give me some information, some scoops, some details. Come on, Marvelhead. I know those gears are turning. I see you over there.
Hmm. I wonder what they're gonna do. How many episodes is this?
It's finishing on October 30th / October 31st. So I would
Oh, that's
hazard a
perfect.
guess that we 10. The finale is also 2 episodes, as is the premiere. Everything else will be 1 episode per week. Same time, everybody, for those who are subscribed or are just taking a look back in. Want to make sure to give all that information. 9 Eastern Standard Time in the US on the East Coast and 6 for us West Coasters. West Coast is the best coast.
All
So,
right. So, all right. Let's take a look at it. So we have Agatha, who is now broken out of the spell. Everything was still playing inside her head. I like how they played off WandaVision for that so far, and they just kind of brought it, full circle for what was happening in WandaVision. She is the outgathered and coven. And this coven is a mismatch of witches and a team who are not friends, they're not sisters, but this could be a bond building experience going down the witch's road.
with Sharon.
Here. So, with that being said, Calderu, Lilia Calderu, she's a gypsy witch. Freaking so her power set, borders off of we'll say freaking mind reading more or less than anything. As you see, everybody was kind of in their element, freaking as far as what they do. So mind reading all that stuff. You got Jennifer, which she's potions. She's when they call her high priestess, it started to click with that. She's a blonde character in the comics, if I remember character. That was kind of while I was kind of looking at Dottie, so at that. But she's a high priestess, so she deals with potions and magic. So you got pretty much divination, you got potions, then you got the cop who's protecting the store. And I was like freaking, magical guardian, which was kind of her thing. So that she got her powers from her mother. So she's brought full circle. They don't have an earthly witch, but they managed to get the door open. But I guess because, you know, Miss Davis, was grounded enough to be the earthly manifestation uh for them to get them in, and then the teen was just present, and he's like, "Yo, I'm coming too," because scary stuff upstairs. Now the seven who were coming to get them was all theatrical and all that kind of stuff, which was great. It was what we wanted. But the problem with them is all that stuff slowed down immediately when they got in to come get, like, we're moving, we're coming to get you. We get up to the door and we're gonna rattle the house outside for a little bit and do a bunch of jump scares, which it's cool. It's Halloween time, like we're getting into spooky season, so it's like I get it, but it's just like there was no sense of urgency on their part to go get Agatha.
They took their
Like y'all
sweet
been
time
waiting.
doing it. It was basically was it Agent X from Resident Evil, the big hulking guy who just followed you from room to room, I think like Resident Evil 3, if
No,
I'm not
Mr.
mistaken.
X, freaking
Mr. X,
yeah.
yeah, he would just follow you from room to room at the slowest pace possible. But that man was terrifying, and I'm gonna go out on a limb. That coven was also terrifying. There is nothing about my everyday life that says I want them or need them around in any capacity. I don't care how slow they're moving. Eventually, I'm going to have to stop moving, and it's going to be an issue. I don't have teleportation like that magical door that appeared in her basement, which, again, like they said in episode 1, the secrets or the ability to unlock everything lies underneath. And they went into the basement to hop into the Witch's Road.
Mhm.
But again, that song, super catchy. It's still just bouncing around my empty noggin on repeat. So good job, Disney. You made another song that'll just live rent free. Fantastic work. Um, Everything that we've seen from our main characters has been really, really good. The kid is everything we need him to be. He's goofy. He's weird.
He
He's
is
cryptic. He's
fantastic.
He's nailing
I,
it.
I I love him. Like I think he is really he is really preparing. I love how he's like, you know, fanning over everybody that he's coming across, like, you got this and stuff. He knows a lot about him. He's done the work, the history, the research, so that like
He's
he
what
is an
Captain Marvel
absolute
could have been.
he's an absolute delight to have on screen.
Well, not
So
Captain
like
Marvel,
I'm
Miss
enjoying it.
Marvel. My apologies.
So I'm with it. Um I'm trying to figure out, we kept seeing the animals. I'm
Yeah,
about to
because the
go back.
animals are some kind of probably witch symbolism, something that I am definitely, hey, just so in case anyone's curious, not even remotely curious about the occult. The occult can leave me be. Thank you very much. I have nothing to do with it and I don't understand it, but I'm assuming animals are usually used when there's some sort of symbolism or some sort of deep connection going on. Because the interesting thing was it felt like it was moving up the pecking order, but I don't know how a rat would be higher up on the pecking order than a crow because you saw the crow first. And I know crows or ravens more specifically are usually tied to witches as they're usually like some kind of messengers for them. I know Maleficent had one, but again, between Disney theatrics and the reality of like what witches really are, kind of a gray area there. Rats are usually just harbingers of plagues, natural disasters, calamities. You usually see them bunching up, usually right before those kind of things happen. A wolf, I have nothing to go off of. Like, I know leaders of packs. There's no such thing as an alpha wolf, even though people always love speculating
If
on that.
it,
That was just been disproven so many times.
if it has to do with the coven, again, you look at the creatures, so
Because
freaking
there were
you would
three
see.
creatures, there were three leaders of the coven, the three symbols on the brooch. That's all I've got.
Now there's gotta be there's more. We saw the rat, we saw the crow, we saw the wolf. The wolf could be, it's too big to be a fox. The wolf or coyote.
Coyotes aren't that large. That has to be a wolf.
Coyotes are decent size. They can get decent size.
Yeah, but there's a significant difference between a coyote and a wolf. But again, I don't want to split hairs on this one.
I,
So if they're a coyote, where would you run with it?
I mean, I just think I think they're symbolizing the seven. I think this the seven are watching. That's why I think we're gonna see the animals because they have the ability to hide, and that seven is very particular. So once they at the market, they know this is where
You think Scratch is one of them?
I think that they're
Agatha's
there.
former?
I think they're there for Scratch as well. I think that's part of it.
I mean, they
I'm
could have
gonna have
gotten
to,
Scratch at any time because the kid gave up Scratch.
yeah.
Amidst the panic, Scratch was in his arms 1 minute and then Scratch was gone. Like literally between scenes, it was like he either threw him or dropped him. I don't remember seeing that, but just between shots, boom, Scratch is gone out in the wild doing who knows what with the creepy coven working their way through the home, going after everybody and everything. But yeah, these animals could be symbolisms for formers. Usually, how everyone has an animal with form in which they communicate. Like, I know it's Harry Potter, so it's like the wizarding world is way different because it's super friendly by most standards. But
Magic has a
again,
general.
magic in generalities. You had like animaguses who could transform into an animal in which they like Sirius Black was a dog. Harry's dad was a stag. Harry could have a stag become his Patronus, but he was not an animagus. Like people were able to shapeshift. McGonagall was a cat.
McGonagall to the cat. Yeah.
So it's like it's not out of this world to say any of this stuff happened. So it's the one from that 70s show, not to know she's a witch. I don't think Sharon knows. I think she's just along for a nice day out. She's lived a very quaint, quiet life, and she was looking for a little bit of excitement. And unfortunately, she bit off the witch's road with Agatha because, well, Agatha was a snake salesman, and here we are, snake oil salesman. We are down the worst path you could possibly, and she seems to be following everyone's lead. If she turned out to be someone with incredible powers, though, I also
That
would
would
not
be
be shocked.
great.
Like she's like one of the strongest witches there, and she was like, I've been looking for you to take this path for me. I've been kind of using you all along. I'm the one that planted the seed in your mind to go ahead and do this route. But again, we still also have to figure out where Aubrey Plaza, her character, plots into this. Did she name drop who she was when she
She's
appeared as
Contessa.
the assassin?
She didn't name drop her, but freaking she's Contessa. I remember she's a part of, like, it was a group that was they wondered about the curiosities of magic, and different people, different families were part of that. One of those was I think Danny Rand's father was actually
Mhm.
part of that same group. So I know she had crossed paths with Iron Fist at one point. So she could go any number of directions, but I don't know a lot about her. I just know of her. Her
It
name is
would be
Glow
interesting if
Machines.
somehow this was a connection to get the Defenders back up and going. That'd be wild. But again,
But
that's a
yeah,
whole other thing.
She is Videl, which is Vera Videl, which should be Contessa. But again, they can change anything for the show, whatever they want it to be. So she could be the daughter of it. Like they can do it however they want to. But we know Videl is a name. Vera Videl was one of the names that I remember who is Contessa. So we'll see if that has anything to do with that.
Because like they've always been straight up, the comics are not always one of one. The comics are not always the answer. They'll point you usually in the right general direction, but as we've seen, like race swapping, gender swapping, all this stuff happens, and as long as the story continues to be fine, I don't think anyone really gives a rip, nor should they. It's like the story right now seems to be cooking with gas, and I'm here for it. Like I would give episode 1 and 2 combined like an 8 out of 10. I was very,
Yeah.
very intrigued about what's next, what's coming. Gives me something to look forward to next week with you, the viewers, and obviously, as always, the myth, the man, the myth, the marvel when we get down to that time. But again, like 8 out of 10 for me. How you feeling about it? A little bit higher, a little
No,
lower?
no, I'm solid. It's got me interested. It's got the intrigue. I want to know more about how the story's going to go. What's going to be down the witch's road. I like how we didn't dive straight into Scarlet Witch in terms of like what happened to her. Is like freaking she, you know, you know,
Dropped a mountain on herself.
she's gone. So the spell has been more or less weakened, and he finished it off. So he was able to get her out. All right, cool. How are we running this from here? How are we going to set up to Agatha to get her powers back? She needs to replenish of her purple, as she said. So, what is her plan? At some point, she's going to have the seven bust them up to, like start shooting at her to get the powers. Is she going to have or is her team going to kind of hit her up with that at some point, and she's going to take them out because Agatha seems like, she is selfish, not worried about nobody. So is it going to build a sisterhood? Is it going to build a coven? Or are we going to see her destroy the coven like she has done once before and take all the powers?
Because she still has to deal with Contessa once this is all said and done. Because for whatever reason, Contessa let her live, and I understand not being able to kill her, but again, like I still would have done something to keep an eye on her to ensure that things would play out the way it needs to.
Contessa seems like an errand girl.
For somebody
Uh,
else, someone higher up in the order.
For the seven, like she does the work of them. She's like one of their protectors or like their assassins or something to that effect to get them out. I think that she kind of gave them the point, and she's kind of watching from the shadows, letting the seven do their thing and stuff like that. And now that they're gone, they're gonna like, all right, well, let's send her to go find her, right? Freaking so they're under the witches, so they're probably gonna channel the witches road, and they're gonna send Videl, down there to find her and intercept her and bring her back. Maybe they can't go on the witch's road. Maybe they're all gonna go and chase her down the witch's road with that because it seems like it's a magical doorway that shows up when it's summoned, and possibly everybody starts at the beginning and you travel to the end. Is everybody traveling separate roads, or are they one road conjoined, intertwined? Like, are you going to deal with other witches along the way? What is going to happen? I know nothing of the witches road, so
And again, we did have the character's mom, the Witch of Protection. Her mom was lost to the road. So who's to say that that doesn't play into the story at some point of either, you have the ability to bring her back or you have the ability to gain the powers. So maybe even Agatha all along doesn't have to necessarily start picking off members of her team. Members of her team could either choose to make sacrifices along the way for whatever it is they're looking for. Like it for me, it seems like the one witch with divination would want to have her sanity back. The other witch just wants to be unbound. The other witch just wants to look for her mom. And then we have the lovely Sharon, who's just here for kicks and giggles because I guess gardening wasn't all that exciting, or the promise of hors d'oeuvres was enough to get her on over there, and then it was never delivered hors d'oeuvres, which justice for Sharon in that regard. But like the way the show is playing out, it's very intriguing. There's a lot of plot points to kind of tie in right now, and that's exactly where they should leave us. Having a mystery, spooky show during fall just hits different. And if Disney does this correctly and Marvel does this correctly, which we're all hoping for, I do not enjoy seeing them drop subpar product, but seeing them drop a great show for all of us to enjoy, all for it. All for it. So I'm hoping that it lives up to the hype of what I've seen in these first two episodes. And is that seem kind of on par or in line with the general reviews from those who got the show early?
It seems like more or less most people talked about is the seven from the comics. The seven did appear in the comics, so that the Witch's
They're
Road
from
appeared
Bot.
as well. It was, let's say, with different planes of existence, like that's how they traveled. The seven, again, the woman from that 70s show not know she's a witch, stuff like that. So that's the thing. We don't know. I don't know who she could be. I don't know what she'd be. She'd be a witch of Earth if she is a witch, so she may not know. She could be one, but it was able to open. So that's something that we kind of have to take into effect. Like that, they have to have both earthly and divine. So she could be a witch that has just not been awakened, or she could be playing coy. Don't know. All right, so that is completely up in the air. I think that we'll get a reveal of her at some time in the future. It'll be like a surprise, like, hey, she had to save them kind of thing. And then they kind of go from there.
I
I'm
mean,
trying to think, like, is there any characters I know? Because any characters that she could be.
I mean, I'm still just kind of minorly upset no one picked up the joke about the seven being from Vought. But I mean, hey, that is what it is. We've switched universes.
Oh,
We're in a
freaking
different comic
seven from
lore.
Vault.
But hey, it
No,
is what it is.
the
I'm so
seven.
happy it's not that seven either, because Homelander here would be a disaster.
Yeah, no, the seven are actually a thing. So with that, and I can't remember all their names and stuff like that.
And don't worry, folks, he'll be tormenting about him this probably till I see him again for Rings of Power, because the way his mind works, you give him a thread or a crumb, he's going to chase that to the ends of the earth with red string, and he's going to come up with a great story for everyone to
They
enjoy when he finally gets to the end of that thought process.
The one thing I know is that they're there with Nicholas Scratch. Is he? They're like the seven are like with him. Like they have an alliance in some fashion. Like I said again, Scratch does not see eye to eye with Agatha, which is one of the reasons why when we kept seeing him in WandaVision here, I was like, yo, that's something, whatever. So that's why I keep on Mephisto, right? But there's something going on there. And the seven and Scratch, I would not be surprised to see the seven of Scratch go up against, Agatha and her coven at some point in time. Like I think, Scratch is going to be freed or unlocked or whatever the case may be. That's going to allow him to reassume his position as something adjacent to the seven and deal with something, or the seven could be obliterated. Their power could be absorbed by either Scratch or Agatha at some point in time and kind of set things in motion. I don't think the seven are going to last as far as characters. I think that they're going to be defunct after this or disposed of or absorbed or whatever the case may be. But Scratch, I think, is going to play a bigger part, especially Teen is going to play a bigger part. And it could be Teen Scratch could have something going. I don't know. Teen is completely a mystery right now.
And then part of me was also curious about the boyfriend of the teen. But again, I didn't get a good enough
I think
look at the face recognition that showed up to be like, this is so and so. It wasn't like such an unmistakable image where it's like Doom's mask or something. But like, oh, okay, that's something you could easily go off of. The face just seemed very generic. It just seemed like someone he had a deep relationship with because they're dating, they're having a good time with it. But again, I was trying to see if there was some kind of breadcrumb for me at least to chase down that. I had nothing. Hopefully, some eagle-eyed fan in the comments be like, "Hey, this is so and so. This could be a thing. This could be something covered." Because again, all the teen talked about is he worries about me, and I was like, so he knows you're going after the witch's road, which means he's at least somewhat familiar with the occult. And again, he knows you're going after Agatha to try and make this happen. So again, he knows a lot of what's going on, and it seems like that would be really important filler details. Like even if you're just a regular person in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for someone to be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go after Agatha. I'm gonna go unlock her, even though the Darkhold's gone, and we're gonna go down this witch's road." Like, what is it that you need so desperately? You're willing to go down this road and like separate yourself from your significant other. That is what's got me curious as well. But again, the show just got me curious on many regards. It's even got my wheels turning. And usually when it comes to Marvel, I'm just like, this is pretty straightforward. You really can't miss it. That bad guy's over there. He's wearing a mask. He's giving an evil monologue. Whoop de doo. He'll be dead by the end of the film in an anticlimactic event anyway. And we'll move on to something else. But this is something. I'm enjoying what we're seeing thus far. It looks like you have your gears turning. Anything else you wanted to give the fans before we probably start wrapping this up and get our recap episode out there for each and every subscriber to enjoy? Which again, you can follow us on Twitch or YouTube. Entirely your preference. We'll be multi-streaming this every single episode throughout the series.
There's more to it, but I'm gonna give more at episode 4. Like I've got a few more things but I also don't want to spoil anything either. So like I said, so I'm gonna wait on a few things, and I'll tell you after the show. But yeah, there's more to it as far as Agatha's relationship with the Seven. So that's gonna be the biggest thing that kind of comes into play.
Any hints for the viewers before we go into our recap of the episode?
Yeah, well, it's
Stay tuned for the next
something.
time.
It's something that was very prevalent in WandaVision. I'll put it that way, and I'll leave it at that.
So, without further ado, to each and every person who's hung out with us on stream, thank you so much. Had a great time hanging out, chat with y'all, Antonio. Fantastic to see you back, sir. Fantastic to see you back. Again, easiest way to keep track of what we do, hit the subscribe button or that follow button on Twitch. Both are entirely free, whichever platform you prefer. We make more content for YouTube, including Supermarket Simulator and other things involving, DC, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, all that good stuff. You'll see us again in like probably like 4 or 5 hours. Once more for Rings of Power. Really excited for that. Without further ado, I'm Brent with Mephisto himself, the man, the myth, the Marvel Will. We'll see you in the next one.